Okay, we got cut off because of a little emergency. My great niece, her mummy, had done her hair and it hurt her. So she was in tears before going to school. So we had to have a little emergency conversation with Auntie Kelly, which I just love. All right, we were in the middle of the 58 to the 18. So talking about how gate 18 is all about improvement and how we don't want to bring that energy into our relationships because the outside channels are here to deal with collective energy. So we don't want to bring that kind of collective energy that is designed for the collective into our personal relationships, telling our beloveds where they need to improve. Like, that sounds like common sense, but energetically, it's also sound advice. So we've got the 18, all about improvement, because we want to improve to move the collective forward, right? And then we've got the 58, which is the gate of vitality, the gate of joy, the gate of exuberance. And so when we've got the 15th, the love, the joy, the exuberance, and the improvement coming together, then we've got that energy of we want to improve with love, with joy. We want to find ways to bring this improvement about in a way that serves us, serves humanity, and is done with drive from that root center and joy and vitality. So it's not this heavy, do it differently, do it right. You know, it's like, let's do this. Let's dance. Let's have fun. Let's be happy and improve. Like, this stuff doesn't have to be hard and heavy, which is kind of the energy that we're moving out of. We've moved from that agricultural age to the industrial age to the information age, and now we're moving into, in my opinion, an energetic age where we're shifting, and progress is speeding up. Like, it wasn't that long ago that we didn't have machinery, and certainly in my lifetime we did not have computers in every house, and certainly in my children's lifetime we did not have computers in our hands when they were born. Now our phones are a TV studio, they're a calculator, they're a camera, they're a connection to the other side of the world. And so where do we go from there? Where do we go from information and electricity? To me, the natural next step is energy, because it all comes back. Like, that's the whole circle of life, cycle of life. The whole essence is energy. We're interacting energetically with our devices because they are electromagnetic, electronic, and our bodies are electromagnetic. We're electronic. These connective centers, these channels are energetic channels. These are energetic centers within our being, within our bodies. And so for me, and take it as you want, it's energy. Energy is where we're at. So that, I could keep going forever, honestly. And I don't know who's watching this, but if you want to continue watching, continue, because we're going to head over to the emotional side. So we've got that driving force of the root center coming up to keep us safe, to keep us improving, to move us forward in a way that we can survive as a species. And then moving into that drive and that pressure, moving us up to our emotional center. And the latest research talks about, and I'm not going to be able to quote any studies here, but you'll know, because this will be an awareness in what you're seeing in your environment, because it's in the collective energy now. But we're moving from the mind intelligence to the gut intelligence. And so when you hear about gut health, you hear about how your gut knows what is instinctively best for you, and your gut has the wisdom that acts faster than your mind can process. So that is where we're heading. Human design tells us that in 2027 we are shifting to that energy, and we're going to see, this might freak you out, and I'm taking this as I'm interested, and I'm very, very interested to see how it plays out in 2027. So for me, 2012, we talked about the end of the Mayan calendar and the end of the world as we know it, which to me has played out because not that there was anything, one specific event that changed from 2012, but where we were in 2012 to where we are today, the world is a different thing. 2027 talks about how we're going to see an evolution of form, and we're going to have more energy centers opening up in our bodies. So human design says that in 1781 we went from a 7-centered being to the 9-centered being that's featured in the charts, and now we're going to be opening up to an 11-centered being with new energy centers in our hands, which to me sounds like healing. It sounds like more energy work being done and more centers being open. So we'll see how that plays out, and I'll share as I learn more. I'll share more about what I'm learning, but the telepathy tapes, just as a little preview of the way I'm thinking this is going to go from things that I've heard about it. If you listen to the telepathy tapes podcast, you'll hear how there is a growing awareness of non-verbal people being able to communicate telepathically as one form of communication. There are other abilities being discovered and talked about and becoming more mainstream, like it's coming to light and awareness is growing. So when I talk about the root center coming up to the emotional center, that to me makes total sense as we move towards this energy, right? So we have got the emotional center here. We've got the 19 to the 49, which is sensitivity and altruism or revolution. So there's some really cool energy happening in there. We've got the 39, the gate of provocation, coming up to the 55, which is the gate of abundance, in the sense that there is an abundance of energy all around us. There is abundance of goodness. There is an abundance of life if we just tap into it and take our mind away from the negative and see how much there is positive in our world. And then we've got the 41, the gate of fantasy and possibilities, to the gate 30, which is all about wanting to have to feel our desires in a like being connected with our desires and knowing them and feeling them, instead of thinking about them, fantasizing about them and having it all in our head, but having that juicy good energy in our bodies. So those two centers are actually all three. So we've got the splenic center, the survival. We've got the emotional center, which is I'm saying, and human design is saying, that's the energy that we're moving towards, away from our head center. And that sacral life force energy, all that drive and pressure from the root center is moving through those three centers, pushing up that energy to the throat center to become manifest, spoken out creatively, speaking it into creation. So the root center was a big one to end on. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments, tag me so that I get a notification that there is a comment there for me to answer. And that is a wrap for the energy centers in the context of if you're open, undefined, or if you have the defined colored center. Again, with your root center, it's going to come back to your strategy and authority. So if you are a manifester with a defined root center, you are going to be looking at how you are initiating, who you are informing of what you're initiating, and your authority, how you're going to make the decisions around that, right? If you're a generator or a manifesting generator, you are tapping into what lights you up. If you are feeling pressure to work hard on something that's draining your energy, check in with, am I responding in a way that I am lit up? Is this frustrating me? Then pivot. Just be like, okay. If you've got the emotional authority, you're going to be slowing down, allowing that information to process through your emotions until you come to clarity about which way to move forward. And yeah, so strategy and authority, your energy type, what you are designed to do in this world, in this lifetime. So bringing it back to the basics, the manifestors are the pioneers, the initiators. They're going out there starting things. The generators and manifesting generators, they are the builders. They're going to be working, improving, mastering their craft. The manifesting generators are going to be also building, mastering, but they're going to have a diversity of the things that they've got their fingers in the pies. Our projectors are here to say, I see what you're doing. This is how your energy is going to be better utilized. We can do it this way, we can do it that way. We're going to guide your energy so that you are, or the energy is being most effective, and that's going to be moving us forward. And our reflectors are going to be reflecting on the people they're in contact with, the projects they're working on, the environment that they're in, and seeing where there is room for improvement, where there's some funky energy that needs to be shifted or moved or addressed or just brought awareness to, and how we can align that and move it forward in a seamless way. Okay, that is a wrap on the Root Center. Okay, you have a great day. I am going to come back tomorrow and we're going to start on another topic. I think I was going to go through the gates. I'm not sure. Might do the channels, because then we can get a 2-for-1, which is very manifesting generator energy. Yeah, let's have a think about that. I'll think about it. If you've got a preference, comment, and I'll see you again tomorrow.